Elder beads are one of my favorite crafts to make, and they only need a few items in order to do it. The first thing you'll need is some elder. You want to grab a branch that didn't have too much growing on it this year and is thick enough to fit a tent peg in it. Then you're going to grab some secateurs and some thin tent pegs, scissors, some biodegradable string such as jute, and Sharpies. Next, you're going to use your secateurs to cut the elder about 1/2 inch thick to form your beads. It's time to grab your tent peg to poke the pith out of the center of the elder. You might want to change what size of tent peg you're using depending on the thickness of your elder when you're making your beads, and then make sure that you're pushing the tent peg down onto a flat surface, not your knee, and then keep your fingers out of the way as you push the tent peg through. Next, you're going to cut some string. Cut it to whatever length you need for your project. Here we're just cutting short ones because we're just making small bracelets for wrists. If you want to make a friendship bracelet, you might be cutting multiple strings so that you can make different styles of knots depending on your project. Once you have your strings cut, you're going to tie a double knot at the end of your string. Then we're going to add our beads to the string. It can be helpful to either wet the end or add a piece of tape to the end to help it from fraying as it goes through the elder. Sometimes we've also used a tent peg to help guide it through. There's lots of different methods you can use, and just making sure that you're twisting the end again before you add on the next piece. If you want, you can try peeling your elder bead. This is a great thing to do if you'd like to add some color to the elder bead. So you just use your nail to peel it off. You can, if you know how to, use a knife to get those first couple layers off, and your goal is to get through the bark layer and the green layer, and you'll end up with just the wooden bit underneath. Once you've peeled off those first few layers, you can then start to add some color to your beads. You can do this using Sharpies or paint. I'm using a few different colors here and making a few different patterns. This is a great way to kind of show your own creative abilities and freedom here. I love doing this with kids because it's really fun to see what kind of thing they make. A big one is usually different rainbow colored beads using all the colors they can. And then you tie it on your wrist and you've got your elder bracelet. Enjoy creating and connecting with nature.